These are the worst Chaos Gods to follow in Warhammer 40k. Number 5, Nurgle. If you have to sell your soul to a dark god, at least pick the one who loves you back, even if the love is a chemical lie and you're rotting while you feel it. Nurgle is the Chaos God of disease, decay, and despair. The Chaos Gods are dark entities that live inside the warp, an alternate dimension that runs parallel to reality. Each one feeds on a specific set of emotions. Nurgle feeds on fear of death, and his recruitment pitch is the only one in the Pantheon that genuinely delivers what it promises. He will make you stop being afraid. Followers of Nurgle are happy, genuinely happy. Plague Marines, genetically engineered superhuman soldiers called Space Marines, who have been corrupted by Nurgle, walk around in armor fused to their rotting flesh, organs hanging out, bloated with disease, and they feel fine. Better than fine. Nurgle's first gift is immunity to pain, and his second gift is immunity to the fear of death. Once those two things are gone, what's left is a kind of grotesque contentment. The Death Guard, Nurgle's primary Space Marine legion, maintain a stoic, almost monastic community. They have hierarchies, grudges, inside jokes, and a genuine sense of purpose. The purpose is spreading plague across the galaxy, but it's still purpose. The catch is that the happiness isn't yours, it's Nurgle's. There are accounts of Plague Marines who had Nurgle's warp influence stripped from them. They instantly perceived themselves as walking corpses, suffered the way they should have been suffering all along, and died in horror. The contentment is a psychic anesthetic pumped into your soul by a god who needs you smiling when you rot. Your personality dissolves over millennia into an extension of Grandfather's will. But here's the thing you will never notice. The one emotion that could detect the trap, despair, is the first thing Nurgle removes. Number 4, Khorne. Khorne is the Chaos God of war, blood, and rage. His sales pitch is 8 words long. Blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne. That's the whole contract. Kill things, collect skulls, get rewarded with more ability to kill things. No fine print, no hidden clauses, no manipulation. Khorne is the most transparent employer in the warp. What you get is a life of perpetual violence. Khorne's followers, particularly the World Eaters, a traitor Space Marine legion devoted to him, submit to the Butcher's Nails, cybernetic brain implants that rewire the nervous system so only rage produces neurochemical pleasure. Everything else, including breathing, thinking, and existing, causes pain. The only relief is killing. Between battles, you're in agony. During battle, you're a screaming berserker who will turn on your own allies if no enemies remain. Khorne the Betrayer earned his name at the Battle of Scalathrax. Both the World Eaters and a rival legion had agreed to a ceasefire because the freezing night would kill even Space Marines. Khorne saw this as cowardice, grabbed a flamer, and torched his own legion's shelters. Then he killed everyone, World Eaters and enemies alike, until dawn. Khorne doesn't lie to you. He doesn't scheme against you. He simply does not see you as a person. He sees blood. Your identity is irrelevant. Your name doesn't matter. Only the kill tally counts. If you impress him enough, you might ascend to Demon Prince, an immortal warp entity of immense power. If you don't, you'll probably become a Chaos Spawn, a mindless mutant blob of flesh that used to be a warrior. Most Khornate champions who seek ascension end up as Spawn. The success rate is abysmal, and Khorne doesn't mourn them. He doesn't even notice. Another skull on the pile, another body for the furnace. But at least the deal was honest. Khorne promised violence and delivered violence. No betrayal, just indifference. He's the only god who doesn't pretend to care about you, which, paradoxically, makes him one of the more trustworthy options. Your existence is hell, but it's the hell you signed up for. Number 3, Slaanesh. Slaanesh is the chaos god of excess, sensation, and perfection. Unlike Khorne's blunt pitch, Slaanesh recruits artists, perfectionists, beauty obsessives, swordsmen, and ambitious nobles. The promise is mastery. You will experience life more deeply than anyone else. You will perfect your craft. You will be desired and admired. New followers think they're signing up for more life. And initially, that's exactly what they get. The Emperor's Children, a traitor Space Marine legion devoted to Slaanesh, had their nervous systems rewired by their chief apothecary, Fabius Bile, so that pain routes into the brain's pleasure centers. For them, every battle became ecstasy, every sensation amplified past anything a normal body could process. For a while, it's genuinely incredible. Then the burnout starts. What was once pleasurable becomes mundane. The baseline shifts. A Marine who's been at this for a few decades needs something extreme just to feel alive. A Marine who's been at it for millennia needs to watch a planet die to register anything at all. The endpoint is the Noise Marine, a warrior so far gone that his entire personality has been replaced by addiction to sonic stimulation. Their weapons fire weaponized sound loud enough to liquefy flesh, and they only feel normal when firing them. Slaanesh's destruction is internal. Khorne breaks your body. Slaanesh hollows out your identity from the inside. You watch yourself disappear and interpret the disappearance as growth. The Mask, a demon who was once Slaanesh's favorite dancer, was cast out and cursed to dance forever on a whim, which tells you exactly how much your service is worth. And Lucius, the Eternal, Slaanesh's champion swordsman, cannot die. Anyone who kills him and feels even slight satisfaction is slowly transformed into Lucius's new body, their consciousness trapped forever as a screaming face on his armor. He's been through countless bodies. He can't remember how many times he's died or account for vast stretches of time. That's the reward for being Slaanesh's favorite. Number 2, Tzeentch. Tzeentch is the chaos god of change, sorcery, and fate. He recruits scholars, sorcerers, politicians, revolutionaries, and anyone who thinks they're clever enough to play a god. The pitch is flattering: knowledge, power over destiny, the ability to reshape reality through psychic mastery. You're signing up to be the smartest person in the room. The problem is that the room was designed by Tzeentch, and so were you. Every follower of Tzeentch is a pawn. Every plan they make was already on his whiteboard. Every act of resistance is part of the script. The Thousand Suns, a traitor space marine legion of powerful sorcerers devoted to Tzeentch, are the case study. Their Primarch Magnus the Red, that's the genetically engineered demigod who founded and led the legion, made 4 separate bargains with Tzeentch across his lifetime. The first to cure his legion's flesh change, a genetic mutation that was liquefying his warriors alive. The second to warn the emperors about the Horus Heresy, a galaxy-splitting civil war which instead shattered the emperor's greatest project. The third to save his legion from destruction, which bound them more tightly to Tzeentch. The fourth was his ascension to Demon Prince, which made him more powerful and less free simultaneously. Every deal advanced Tzeentch's design. Every deal wrecked Magnus's. Then there's the rubric of Ahriman. Ahriman, the Thousand Suns' chief librarian, their most senior psychic warrior, cast a massive spell to save his brothers from the flesh change. It worked. Sort of. Every non-psychic marine of the Legion was reduced to dust, trapped inside their armor, animated as soulless automatons by surviving sorcerer's will. Thousands of warriors turned into empty shells by a spell cast out of love, and the strong reading of canon is that Tzeentch engineered the whole thing, then saved Ahriman from Magnus's wrath afterward because Ahriman was still useful. The mark of Tzeentch grants psychic powers, which sounds great until you realize that psychic mutation is constant and the body has finite tolerance. Tzeentchian gifts are mutations. Every gift pushes you closer to the threshold where your flesh can't hold its shape anymore and you collapse into a chaos spawn. And a gift called the Changing of the Ways lets Tzeentch replace all your existing boons with new ones without warning. He can reset you like a save file. Number 1, Chaos Undivided. And the absolute worst option, don't pick one god, try to worship all 4 at once. Chaos Undivided is the path of worshipping chaos as a pantheon rather than pledging to a single patron. The sales pitch is autonomy. Power without ownership, access to gifts of Khorne, Nurgle, Tzeentch, and Slaanesh without being any one god's property. Is the path chosen by Lorgar, the Primarch who started the Horus Heresy, and by Abaddon the Despoiler, the current War Master of Chaos, who has led 13 Black Crusades, massive military campaigns against the Imperium over the last 10,000 years. The problem is structural. When you follow one god, that god has a reason to protect you. Khorne shields Khorne from rival gods' curses. Tzeentch will reset Magnus a dozen times rather than let Nurgle claim him. Slaanesh will reincarnate Lucius rather than lose him. Your patron invests in your survival because you belong to them. When you follow all 4, none of them own you, and none of them will spend power to save you. All 4 gods view an undivided follower as a soul to be poached. Each sends gifts hoping to tip the balance and claim you for themselves. Those gifts come from 4 incompatible sources, producing mutations that conflict with each other. Your warband splinters into 4-way factional feuds. Khornate Berserkers and Slaaneshi Pleasure Seekers in the same force will try to kill each other before the enemy arrives. And when the mutations exceed your body's tolerance and you're about to collapse into a chaos spawn, no single god is invested enough to intervene. The 2 greatest undivided champions in history are themselves cautionary tales. Be'lakor was the first demon prince ever created, elevated by all 4 gods acting together. When the gods couldn't agree on who owned him, they cursed him. He's now the eternal second-place herald, forced to crown every great champion but never become one himself, consumed by jealousy for 10,000 years. Then there's Horus, the most powerful undivided champion who ever lived, war master of the entire rebellion against the Imperium. He didn't even get to ascend. The Emperor obliterated his soul entirely. Not killed, obliterated. The consciousness is gone. The most successful follower of Chaos Undivided in galactic history was erased from existence before the gods could even decide what to do with him. The only two stable, undivided champions are Lorgar, who survives through genuine fanatical theology, treating all four gods as aspects of one truth, and Abaddon, who survives through sheer willpower, refusing demonhood entirely because he's watched what it did to the demon Primarchs and decided that becoming a god's pet isn't power. Abaddon explicitly calls demon princes slaves. He might be right. Chaos Undivided ranks worse because it's the only path where the absence of a protector is the defining feature. Every other god will betray you in their own specific way, but at least they'll keep you alive long enough to be betrayed. Undivided won't even guarantee you that much. Well, that's the list. 5 ways to sell your soul in the 41st millennium, ranked by how badly you get screwed. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, even the gods offering you power are running a scam.